Getting back at it here on Kansas Sports Chatter as we bring in our next spring guests. Corey Katzer, the head coach of the Spring Hills softball team, joining us here. Coach, appreciate your time. And like for you this time of the year, like can you fully focus on softball? Like is that like fully on your mind right now, or there's so many other things going on?
Well, there's a lot of things going on, but it's hard not to focus on softball a lot with everything that's going on in terms of, like you said, with weather, end of the quarter, trying to find places to practice and all that sort of thing. There is a lot going on, but definitely softball's top of mind.
So how much interaction are you having with the girls like the weeks before the season officially starts?
So we actually start getting together usually the second week back from Christmas break. I kind of give them a week or two to get back into a routine. And then we are in the weight room 4 days a week doing lifting, conditioning, that sort of thing. So we start hitting it pretty early.
So do you get a pretty good feel for, I mean, obviously you know what you had coming back from a year ago and the success you had, but like when do you kind of like, okay, now I'm going to put the pieces in place? Like when do you start kind of messing with that?
So we start putting it, I kind of start putting things together this week, honestly. Well, I guess I should go back. So like if you take last year, I had basically the entire returning varsity team. This year, of course, that's not the case. So, like I was saying at our parents' meeting last night, we are going to, I mean, we have a lot of young kids. And when I say young kids, not just freshmen, but a lot of kids that don't have varsity experience. But we're very, very successful at the JV level. So right now we're still in that process of trying to go through and see who has improved, who has stepped their game up, and of course we have an idea going in because I think we do a good job as a coaching staff, and it's not just me, of not only developing kids, but we go out during the summer and we watch the kids that are playing with their travel programs and all that. So we have an idea, but I still want to see it on the field before I make any decisions or choices or that sort of thing.
Those youngsters in your years of experience, like what have you seen like the hardest thing to pick up at the varsity level? You mentioned some of them with not the experience at that varsity level. Like what's the hardest thing for them to pick up?
Speed.
Speed.
Especially when you're playing, and I don't mean speed as in like pitching. Like I'm lucky. I mean, 95% or more of my kids play travel ball during the summer, and being this close to Kansas City, most of them play at a very high competitive level. So in terms, they've seen the pitching aspect of it. That's not really a big deal. But when you say have a freshman that's playing against a senior, that's a big difference. And that is a difference that is not, I mean, they don't cross at the travel ball level. I mean, those older kids are on older teams, and the incoming freshmen that are still on the younger side of things. So, in fact, you can see it in practice. This is the first two or 3 days. The kids that have been here 3-4 years, they just play at a different speed. And then, trying to get those younger kids to play at that pace and be comfortable at playing at that pace, and not, making a lot of errors and mistakes. So,
what point of the season do you usually see those freshmen kind of, figure things out? I'm sure it's, base by base, but like, is there a certain point where like, okay, yeah, they got it?
That is a great question. It's funny because we just had our parents meeting last night, and I was actually talking about this very thing with the parents. And I said, I don't know when it will happen. But I told them this: we will be a much better team at the end of the season than where we are at the start. I was like, if we do our job as coaches, I'm not saying that, we're making the state tournament. I don't ever say things like that. But what I will say is I think that if you were to draw us in, regionals at the end of the year, we will be a completely different team than what we are the first week of the season, simply because of that. The experience, the having gone through 26 games at a varsity level. And I don't know when it clicks. As like I said, I was talking last night. We will probably lose some games early in the season that you kind of go, we shouldn't have lost that game, or how did we lose that game? But that's the type of thing you got to go through to get where you want to be at the end of the season. So, like I said, I don't know when it'll click, but it'll click. It's just a matter of how soon or how long.
Corey Katzer joining us here, head coach of the Spring Hill softball team. You talk about, getting to that state tournament, able to do that last year. Man, so close to finishing up as that state runner-up. What was that experience like, and just the run that you guys went on in the postseason?
Well, I think it goes back to experience. That group of kids has been together since they were freshmen. I mean, it was a very talented group coming in. It reminds me a lot of this freshman class. There's a lot of very talented kids, and just the time, the effort that they put in over those 4 years led to that run. They had seen it all. They had experienced it all. They weren't intimidated or scared of the situation. They'd been to the state tournament all 4 years that they were in high school, and you just continue to build that experience. And as you build that experience, you just get more comfortable. And as you get more comfortable, then, you don't see the mistakes that people that are uncomfortable or that sort of thing. To them, by the time we got out there, it's just another game. It's okay. There's some extra bleachers and there's a few more people, but still just a 7-inning ball game and 21 outs. So I think, that experience factor can't be measured enough.
Like your upperclassmen that did return to the program this year, that game against St. Thomas Aquinas was 8-7. Like, how much does that kind of fuel them as they get ready for their next season?
Oh, it's fueled them. Let's just put it that way. They have the coaches like to joke. We don't talk about it, after having a lead and then giving it up. It's the joke is it's still too early to talk about it. The kids will talk about it quite openly, and we have Aquinas on our schedule. We have them in the regular season, and then there's a chance we could see them at this the big Olathe and Shawnee Mission put on a kind of a round robin tournament type deal. There's a chance we could see them there. I mean, we've played 8 times in the last 3 years, so to the kids, it's they're excited that they get another shot. I mean, granted, at this point in time, it's not the state tournament, but they're on the schedule, and I think they have been circling that one since the day after the state tournament. So
could be an entertaining ball game, huh?
Yes, and they are unbelievably talented. And I know Keith, their head coach, very well. He's a great guy. But it's fun to kind of have that rivalry part. You don't get a lot of that these days in high school sports because all these kids play together. Like, I was playing high school ball. I mean, it was every little town was a rival. I mean, it was crazy. Now you don't see that very often. So to kind of have that, because we've played so much at the last 3 years, and because both programs are pretty talented, it makes it fun. I mean, that's why you do this, is to play those types of games.
6 years now coaching at Spring Hill. What excited you about that job initially and eventually choosing to come to Spring Hill?
Well, actually, it was just coincidence. My parents had moved to a farm just south of here, just south of Paola. And as they're getting older, they need a little more help and things around the farm. And I had always told them at that point in time, I was up in the Topeka area coaching both girls basketball and softball. And that if something opened up around this area, that I would look at it, consider it, and come back, knowing that, I mean, eventually, hopefully, an assistant coaching job would open up or whatever. And when I happened to get the job here 6 years ago, it just so happened that Shelly, who did a phenomenal job here for years. I mean, when I was coaching in Ottawa, she was just starting to build this thing, and I mean, they were pretty darn successful under her tenure. And she happened to just step down that first year that I came in, so that she could spend more time watching her daughter, who was playing at Paola at the time. And so I just kind of fell into it, and I just happened to fall into an extremely talented group of juniors and seniors that year. And it was it was an awkward year with the whole COVID thing. I mean, I didn't even hardly get to talk to or see my kids for most of the year. I mean, I don't think I talked to a single one of them until we got back from Christmas break. I think it was when we finally first came back. We had kids in class for COVID. So, I mean, there was a lot of getting to know one another very, very quickly. But like I said, I just fell into it. It was luck. I mean, the fact that Shelly, wanted to have time to see her daughter play, and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Carried on the tradition quite nicely. Hey, Coach, appreciate it, and good luck as the season gets close.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time to have me on.
That is Corey Katzer, head coach of the Spring Hill softball team. We'll have more of the show right after this.